The next is regarding non-performing assets. Non-performing assets have been in news. It's no longer in news. It was in news continuously after the asset quality review of 2015. Okay, in 2015, RBI conducted an asset quality review of financial institutions, found that their banks and various private corporates had very high NPAs, and there was a twin balance sheet crisis, but now it has subsided after 2020 and 2021. That issue has been resolved. Now private sector banks have very low, generally any commercial bank has very low NPAs. The corporates have also deleveraged, right? So basically an NPA, what happens is, if you do not pay particular loan, okay, for a certain period of time, like less than 12 months. Okay, if you do not pay it for a period of less than 12 months from the due date, obviously, then it will be classified as a substandard asset. Substandard. Right. And if it's greater than 12 months, and if it is up to like 3 years, greater than 12 months to 3 years, it will be called a doubtful asset. Okay, doubtful. Okay, and after 3 years, okay, greater than 3 years, it will be classified as a loss asset. Okay, but in all these classifications, NPAs are actually part of the balance sheet of the banks. They will be mentioned in the balance sheet of the banks. Only after the bank is saying that, okay, when it declares loss, when it declares a particular asset as loss, it says that, okay, we can't retrieve it. Okay, we can't retrieve it. That is accepted, but it's still in the balance sheet. Okay, it's still in the balance sheet, right? Return of assets. Okay, return of assets means it is actually a loss asset that is no longer in the balance sheet. It is written off from the balance sheet. But that does not mean the bank is going to stop the legal proceedings to get that asset liquidated, or it's not going to withdraw the case in the bank, okay, in the court. Okay, that is not going to happen. They will obviously continue that proceeding, but the balance sheet, it will no longer be mentioned in the balance sheet, a return of asset. So that is basis of this question. Assets which remains NPA for less than or equal to 12 months are classified as substandard asset. Correct. Assets which remain doubtful for more than 3 years are compulsorily classified as loss asset. Okay, compulsory classified as a loss asset. Basically, we can see that, okay, here the word compulsory is there. So basically you need to understand that after 3 years, a particular asset can still be doubtful only. Okay, it can still be doubtful. It's not like a rigid classification between doubtful and loss. Okay, loss is actually when the bank management, okay, they say that it is unrecoverable. Okay, unrecoverable. So a particular, asset has been remained, for 4 years. Okay, it has remained as a substandard asset for 4 years, right? So in that case, what happens is that if the bank management says that it is unrecoverable, then it becomes a loss asset. But if that criteria has not been given, that is, the bank has not yet decided that it is unrecoverable, then it will still remain as a doubtful asset, right? So this, the line between doubtful asset and loss asset is not very rigid. So this is actually wrong. Okay, this is actually wrong. Then the return of assets are assets that are no longer banks can actually recoverable. That is actually true, right? Because return of assets cannot no longer be there. So you will reach option B, right? Option B.